Hey guys, my name is Shirley and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as the title suggests, I am going to be taking you through what is on my iPhone. So hoping to share with you guys the layout that I have, what works for me. So without wasting too much of our time, let's get straight into the video. I am rocking the iPhone 12 Pro and this is in, maybe let me take off the case. I've got like the Apple leather case, but let me take it off. So I've got this in graphite. This one I believe is 256 gigs. So yeah, I guess that's it for the specs on the phone. All right, so I guess let's start off first things first with the home screen itself. So I've just got this plain kind of plain-ish wallpaper going on here. I love the color pink and I don't know, I just liked it, so that's why we have it there. Now personally with my phone, the way that I've set it up here is I don't like clutter. I have included all the apps that I use a lot on my homepage. So apps that I'm using on a daily or every other day on my homepage. And then things that I don't use that much, they're just hidden away in the app library here. And if I do ever need to use it, I can just, quickly pull down and, search whatever I need to search. Another way that I've set it up is I've arranged it from bottom up. So the apps that I use the most are on the bottom where it's easiest to reach. And the apps that I use less are more on the top where it's a bit harder to reach. So I guess with that in mind, let's start from the bottom. So from the bottom, my browser of choice is Safari. Next to that, I've got Spotify, which is my choice as well. I do use Apple Music every now and then, but yeah, for me, I just feel like Spotify just works better. It's just a bit more intuitive in my opinion. Next, I've obviously got my phone app where obviously that's where I make phone calls, which is usually what we use phones for. And then I've also got messages, and yes, I know I am really terrible at replying messages. I really need to get better at it. And then on the bottom right here, apps that I'm usually accessing quite a lot, I've got my socials here. So I've got YouTube Studio, which is essentially kind of how I keep track of the comments that you guys leave for me, which I absolutely always love reading. It's kind of just the back end side of YouTube. And obviously I've got the YouTube app itself, which I absolutely really love. I've got LinkedIn, which obviously is a social platform but more for the professional work environment. Obviously got Instagram, Facebook. WhatsApp isn't hidden away in the other socials one because I use this quite a lot, more for like groups and mainly family. Like my mom, she doesn't text. If I send her a text message, she doesn't reply. She doesn't reply. All she knows how to use is WhatsApp. So WhatsApp I've keeping out there because it's where my home family group is. So given that it's kind of another version of messages, it's not hidden in socials. Next, I've got reading and audio, which is another favorite tab of mine. Main ones that I use is podcasts and Audible. I don't think there's a day that goes by where I'm not listening to an audiobook on Audible or podcast. I have released a video before on some of the podcasts that I absolutely love, so I'll pop that in one of the boxes that comes up here so you can check that out if you want to. I've also got Apple Music because sometimes I use that but not all the time. I've got Shazam. So for people who don't know, Shazam, I've actually got it also on my control center here. For people who don't know what Shazam is, honestly it's one of the best apps ever invented. So Shazam is kind of an app where if I'm listening to a song, I just tap on the song, it listens, and then it gives me the name of that song. Because how many times have you been like somewhere or at the shopping center or a party or something like that, you've listened to a song and you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a good song, but you don't have somebody to ask, or you don't want to ask people what the song is. So you can just turn on your Shazam, whether it's coming on the radio or whatnot, it will listen to the song and then it will tell you the name of the song, the artist, and then you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever you want. Goodreads is the app that I kind of use to keep track of my reads, the books that I've been reading. I leave reviews there so that it kind of know, which books I liked, which books I didn't like. I've also got SoundCloud, which I very ever use. Next little thing that I've got here is Hustle, and this is apps that I use for like a little kind of a side hustle. It's not really a side hustle. So here in Australia, we have been in lockdown again. We can't go anywhere, nothing's opened. I recently joined to be an Uber Eats delivery driver. And that just gives me an excuse to get out of the house, because otherwise, yeah, I'm working from home full time, gyms are closed, restaurants are closed, I can't see friends, I can't do anything. So this gives me a way to get out of the house while earning a bit of cash on the side. And it's actually good for making money. Like I'm making a few extra $100 a week, and if you do it properly, you can actually earn a lot of money. So I use Uber Driver a lot. And then I also do DoorDash sometimes. So those are the main two that I have. Next up, we've got Google Cal, which is my calendar of choice. And then this is probably one of my favorite folders, which is my personal finance folders. I think I'm like checking this literally like every day. You know, like when you go to the fridge, you open the fridge, you close it, and then you come back again like 2 minutes afterwards thinking that there's going to be more food in there that you didn't see 2 minutes ago. That's essentially what I'm like with my finance folder. Like I open my bank accounts like, gosh, numerous times a day, and the money still stays the same. But I guess it's good because I never get charged for something that I don't know has been charged for. So yeah, in terms of personal finance, these are my main apps of choice. So we've got Westpac, and that's where my pay comes in, majority of my bills, expenses and the likes. I've got Upbank. It's really good because it gets to show you like where you've been spending your money, with little cool icons and all that stuff. You can see your savers, so you can like set up multiple savers. It shows you like the grand total, how much you've saved. It's probably one of my favorite banks. It's very different from the traditional old school banks. Like you get to send money with emojis and all that stuff, so it's really, really cool. I've got St. George Bank there. I don't bank with them daily, but that's where my mortgage is for my property. Stay tuned for the next video that's coming out, actually, where I'm going to be talking to you about my house buying process. And yes, for those who don't know, I bought a house. I've got Perla here. So Perla is a platform of choice for me in terms of investing. So my investments at the moment are mainly in property and ETFs. That's kind of the strategy that I'm at the moment. So Perla is really, really good. You can buy some free ETFs, like as in you don't pay a brokerage fee. I like this setup that they have. They have an auto investing feature, so you don't have to manually put money into your investing account. They can automatically deduct it. It's really, really good. I feel like for long-term hold strategies, for somebody who doesn't want something that's too stressful. Also got this net worth tracker place where you kind of get to see all your assets. So for instance, I've got my house, how much my house value is at. I've got how much is in my super. I've got how much is in my Upbank. So that way it tracks your net worth. I think it's only available for Australian users, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me in that. And I'll link down a referral code. So if you do want to join Perla, highly recommend you use my referral code because it gives you free brokerage for your first purchase. Next up, I have Spaceship. So Spaceship is the platform that I use for my micro investing. So micro investing, you can invest like as little as I think like $5, possibly even like $1 at a time. So yeah, for micro investing, I use Spaceship. Again, I'll leave a referral code below. I think we both get $5 if you use my referral link. So you know, $5 free money to invest. I've got Bank West, so that one's a high interest savings account. I've got Audi Mobile, which is a phone provider that I use. It uses the Telstra line, but it's just much cheaper. Like I get like I pay like $25 a month, which is like really, really cheap. I've got PayPal there, which I think PayPal is self-explanatory. And then I've got Finder. Finder again is kind of like a money tracking thing. It helps me see my credit score, so I can check my credit score. Let's say you wanted to apply for a credit card, they give you like comparison rates for credit cards and all that kind of stuff. So Finder's pretty cool. So that's everything in my finance folder. Next up, I've got my mail app of choice, which is Google Mail, sorry, Gmail. I've got photos up there. Next thing that I've got is shopping. So shopping app is what I kind of use for shopping, but not the traditional like Zara, H&M and stuff. So I don't have like clothing shops per se. It's more kind of like strategic shopping. So for instance, I've got realestate.com. and I've got Domain. I just usually like to keep an eye out on what's happening in the market. Given that I'm in property and want to invest in more property, I usually just like to check out, see, you know, what properties are going for and the likes. I eventually will be moving out of home one day, so I do usually like to keep an eye out on, you know, what rental properties are like and stuff like that. So realestate.com as well as Domain. I use realestate.com more than Domain. I also use carsales.com. At the moment, I'm looking into buying a new car maybe in the next 6 months or so. So I just usually like to keep an eye out on cars and how much they're going for. Next, I've got Amazon. It's quite self-explanatory. It's where I buy random stuff. I really love Amazon because usually the delivery is quite quick, and I have major issues with instant gratification. So when I place an order, I like my thing to be delivered right there and then. And then obviously got the app store there as well. I've got my health app there as well, which is where I track mainly for sleep. Next up, we've got my app of choice, which is Google Maps. Again, I really tried to use Apple Maps. Like, I am an Apple fangirl and I really tried to use Apple Maps, but for me it just wasn't happening. I've also got my clock here. I've got my Apple Notes system there. I've got productivity. So this is just like random apps. So I've got my Apple Cal because sometimes I do like looking at my Apple Cal. It is linked with my Google Cal. So whatever pops up on my Google Cal also comes up on my Apple Calendar. I've got files, reminders. Reminders is a big thing because I use that a lot for, you know, shopping lists. Absolutely love the Reminders app. I feel like it's definitely come a long way. Google Drive, Good Notes and Notability and Notes of Choice. I used to use these quite a lot when I was in uni. So I'd use it a lot on my iPad, and then if I needed quick access to my notes or any documents, I would just access them on my phone if need be. And then Forest, again, is an app I used a lot when I was in uni. I can't believe I'm saying that in past tense. I recently finished uni a few weeks ago. So essentially what it does, you set a timer, you plant a tree, and in that time you can't use your phone. So let's say I get out of the phone, it's then gonna kill my tree. So essentially the goal is to not use your phone in that time period, otherwise your tree dies. So it's pretty cool. So like for instance, when I was in uni, every time I would be doing uni work, I would be tracking how much time I'm spending, so that week at the end of the week I can see how much effort I put into uni. In this particular week, you can see I studied or worked for 18 hours in terms of uni wise. The previous week I did about 11 hours of work, or just under 12 hours. That's essentially Forest, and I highly recommend it. So now I've been using it for work because sometimes I get distracted by my phone. So if I know I'm gonna get distracted, I just turn on my Forest app, and I know for X amount of time I can't touch my phone. I've got my Notion app. So essentially Notion is kind of where I keep track of absolutely everything. So for instance, if I go into my YouTube tracker here, I can see, you know, which videos have been published, which videos I filmed. So I also write like my goals are tracked here. I've got, it used to be where I used to keep track of like my uni assignments and all that stuff. I've got food app here. The Maccas app is really good. My Maccas app, if you do have it in your country, make sure you download it. I've got this like my rewards section. So it's like where you see deals for the day. So for instance, today, a small cheeseburger meal is going for $4, whereas I think it normally goes for like $8 or something like that. So it's nearly half price. So you just go to Maccas, give them your code, and then voila, you've got a discount on your meal. I've got the settings app there, which I don't need to explain. I've got entertainment, which is essentially just for streaming. So health and fitness, I've got the Lifeblood app. So I usually like to donate blood or plasma as much as I possibly can. I have been slacking a lot lately, so this just keeps track of my appointments. I've got my Fitness Pal. Sometimes when I'm tracking macros, which I haven't done in a long time, I usually do this, like let's say I'm just at the start of a bulk, start of a cut, and I want to get a rough idea of what my macros are currently at and what I should be aiming towards, and I'll use my Fitness Pal. I've got the Morsia app. So Morsia app is what I used for my fitness workouts. I've had to pause it at the moment because here in Australia gyms have been closed, so I haven't really been able to use it as much. But when I am going to the gym, this is like a workout plan, so I follow this workout plan, and for me it's been absolutely worth it. Nike running app, I haven't been running in quite a while, but when I do go for a run, I usually like to track it via the Nike running app. And then I've got Flow here, which is just a lady tracker. And last but not least, we've got the photography folder. So I don't use this too much because a lot of like edits and stuff that I do, especially for YouTube, I do on my iPad. But let's say I do want to do a few things on my phone, then these are my main apps of choice. And then last but not least, I've just got this little widget stacker. So I've got weather there. I try not to put too many widget on a stack because then it means I would need to be swiping a lot to get to the one that I need to get to. The widgets that I've got is just the weather one. I really like, you know, just knowing what the weather is like for the day. I've also got the Forest widget, which gives me like a quick access to Forest. I've got my Upbank widget as well, which tells me how much money that I have and that particular account at the moment. And then lastly, I've got the Bible widget. So this refreshes every single day with the verse of the day. So you can click on it and then you can obviously go more into it. And because the picture is always different each day, it means that my home screen kind of looks different each day. So yeah, that's essentially what is on my iPhone 12 Pro. I hope you guys have liked this. I am really sorry that I can't tell you what the wallpapers are. I cannot for the love of me remember where these wallpapers are from. Anyway, I've talked for way too much. Thank you so much for watching. If you have liked the video, make sure you like the video. Comment down below any apps that you guys love. I would love to check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and with all that being said and done, dream big and hustle hard. I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye!